Manchester United submit a £51 million bid for Ajax's Antony. It does fall short of the valuation, but it's expected that United will start negotiations and looked to submit a new bid. On top of this, Chelsea seemingly in for the Sporting Lisbon midfielder Nunes, and Arsenal, are they about to now launch their attack finally for Youri Tielemans? Both these stories circulating across social media this afternoon. 3 big moves for 3 of the big 6. Smash that like and share button. Let's go. Manchester United submit a £51 million bid for the Ajax winger, inside forward Antony, a player that is demanding a move, is demanding that Manchester United and Ajax negotiate. He's asking his club to allow him to leave. That on the same afternoon as it's been reported that Arsenal are ready to launch their £30 million bid for Youri Tielemans and are confident of beating Man United and other teams to the star, although Man United haven't actually inquired about him. And of course, the big news this morning that Chelsea will present a proposal of around 45 million euros for Nunes of Sporting Lisbon. We're going to delve into these articles and these stories with a little bit more detail, of course, but the transfer market has had a few days where it's been a little bit quiet, but it really appears to have picked up pace in the past few hours. What will happen? What direction will these deals go in? What's your thoughts? What's your feelings? I want to hear from you this afternoon. I really, really do. So some of your comments make me laugh. I want to know what your thoughts and feelings are on these transfers and these proposed moves by your respective football clubs. But listen, I told you Man United would do. They haven't completed the business yet, but they're going to try and do business. We said that all along. Man United were going to put these bids in. Man United were going to try and sign players. And I know a lot of people are bantering it. The talent ID, he's only going after players that he's managed before. I don't think 90% of Man United fans care. So that's almost a moot point now in many ways. But this is a highly talented individual that the manager wants, who wants to come in. He's got the world at his feet. There's a lot of interest in him, and there has been. The likes of Chelsea have been scouting him amongst others for a while now. But a little bit like the Lisandro Martinez deal, most people believe if Erik ten Hag comes in for him, that is where this individual is going to want to go. That's where this individual is going to end up. Yes, Ben, by the way, will be on the show tomorrow at 11 a.m. His train got delayed, taking him to Manchester. He's there for the Euro 2022 game this evening. Had his train got delayed, so he wasn't in Manchester in time to be able to do the show. So he'll be on tomorrow at 11. Don't you worry yourselves about that. But I want to know where you're coming from. Comment here says, Nunes could be a gem of a signing. Listen, I don't know too much about him. I've been reading about him all day. A player that Pep Guardiola speaks highly of, an individual that is very well regarded in his home nation. Sporting Lisbon don't want to lose him. Now, there is a caveat to this story. Ben Jacobs himself has come out and said that at the moment, this is a little more than a rumor. And we spoke about that on the Football Terrace this morning, that actually we're kind of in a situation where you think to yourself, well, who else is reporting on this at this moment in time? But we have seen this summer, the Portuguese press report on Portuguese players or Portuguese-based players days and weeks before the English press has picked up on them. You know, the hijack for Darwin Nunes was almost laughed at by the British press when the Portuguese media spoke about it as an example. It was a Portuguese press that broke the news surrounding Raphinha moving away. It was the Portuguese press that broke the news that Arsenal were in for Fabio Vieira. So to suggest that nothing could happen, I don't think he's incorrect. Ben Jacobs is going to tweet and put out what he believes and feels, which is that he's heard nothing more than a rumor right now. But I do have this isn't Ben, this is football fans. I have a problem with football fans that want to just disregard the foreign press just because the journalist writing the story is somebody that you are not personally familiar with. There's lots of British journalists that are not known on the continent. Does that make them less credible? Absolutely not. So it remains to be seen, but I've read some really, really good things about this individual I have. And as I said to Chelsea fans this morning, this is what you have to look out for. This is what you have to be excited about as a football fan, that these types of deals can come out of nowhere, really. Relax a little bit. The window's got a long way to go. It felt quite quiet on the Western Front, as they say, this morning. But within the space of a few hours, Arsenal gearing up for a £30 million bid for Youri Tielemans. Man United submit a £51 million bid for Antony. And Chelsea now are in for a player that they weren't expected to be in for. This is the fluidity and the nature of the transfer market. Now, I want to say to you all, if we hit 1,250 likes on this stream, I will gift 20 memberships free of charge to you viewers watching the show right now. 20 free memberships if we hit 1,250 likes. It's on you, the viewers, to go out there and get that done. VK here says 51 million euros probably, which would get rejected. Yes, of course, but this is you got to understand this. Man United, there's no reason for Man United to rush this deal. I know we want Antony, I know we want all our players in for pre-season, but we don't need all our players in for pre-season. That is not needed right now by Manchester United. And I'll tell you as to why. United have got to be frugal with their money. I keep saying this to people. We have to be diligent. The player wants Man United and only Man United right now. There is no signs from the camp of Antony that he wants to go anywhere else. He wants United. He wants Ten Hag. So we've got that in our favour. Yes, there's a £20 million difference between us and Ajax. If we end up paying 55 million for him, instead of going straight to the 70 million mark, that extra £18 million could go a long way to finding a Ronaldo replacement or buying a player in another position that we need. We can't just hemorrhage money when we don't need to. If we end up saving 20 million on De Jong, 15, 16, 17 million on Antony, that's a whole player. It's a whole new player you can then invest in. Fans are asking for 5, 6, 7 players. You're not going to do that by giving clubs their asking price on every deal straight away, because you will run out of the ability to spend. So for me, it's not about whether the deal gets rejected in the short term. It's about what the deal does in the long term. What's 51 million in euros? So it's 51 million pounds that's been bid. I think in euros it's about 60 odd. I think it's around 60 to 65 million pounds in its entirety. Let's just do this. BBP to euros. 60 million pounds, give or take, depending on your exchange rate. So about 60 million pounds United have bid as it stands right now. Terry, what do I think of Savic to Arsenal? Listen, I think that could be a good deal for Arsenal. I think that could be a good bit of business for Arsenal Football Club. We've got a video that's out right now. I don't know if you've seen it. We give you a bit of an update from the majority of journalists, including Fabrizio Romano. And that's a deal that Arsenal are looking at. That's a deal that, in my opinion, they're looking at. But you're not going to hear much from the British press on that deal because they want to keep the Tielemans transfer alive as well. And they can't go for a better player at a more expensive rate and have their journalists say that it's a real move, and then try and get Youri at a lower rate later down the line if the Savic bid fails. And maybe they've already bid once and they're not going to go in for a second bid. And that's why the news is out this afternoon that the Arsenal were going to go back and launch a £30 million approach for the signature of Youri Tielemans, which I just think they should go and do. I understand looking at Savic, and I understand that the logic around why that's a good move. But on a real level, go and get the player that wants to be here. Get him in through the door. He wants to be an Arsenal player. The deal's practically done. 25 to 30 million British pounds. Done. He's your player. That improves your midfield. Fabio Vieira in. Youri Tielemans in, Gabriel Jesus in. The age, the ability, the profile of those individuals makes Arsenal a completely different proposition going into next season, without a shadow of a doubt. And rivals can scoff at it all they want. I've seen people putting down how bad Jesus is, how no one knows about Fabio Vieira. Youri Tielemans, he's overweight, overrated. Listen, that's just people hating on the fact that every year this happens to Arsenal. They don't have as good a season as people expect. They're going to fall off now. They're going to disappear now. They're going to go nowhere. And it never really happens. It never, ever really happens whatsoever. They're still able to attract stars. They're still able to develop and become better. And they land these players, and it's good news for Arsenal fans because they can have real expectations this year, demand real performances, real results from their football club, which is what they all want. Absolutely. Daniela here says Antony has a contract with Ajax until 2024, so United have to buy him out of that. It's put up 30 million on the fee, plus your arrogance of demanding Ajax to let you talk to him when they don't want to sell. Well, his contract running out in 2024 helps Manchester United because a player going into the last 2 years of their deal lowers your transfer fee, lowers your valuation, especially if they're asking to leave. When players are demanding to leave and they're being quite public with it, it lowers the asking price. So it actually has the opposite effect in the transfer market. A comment here says Ajax have profited massively for everyone. Now they are being too greedy. Now Erik ten Hag made the biggest mistake of delaying the transfer. Now we're in a mess close to pre-season. I really don't think Man United, I don't know where this notion that Man United are in a mess comes from. I see it being posted everywhere. What, because all our deals aren't in before pre-season? You know, we've got one player through the door. Eriksen will meet us during pre-season. The De Jong deal is very difficult, and it's very difficult because of his contract situation. This is all about De Jong getting his money that he's owed. You all realize that, right? It's all about he's getting the money that he's owed. Barca want him to forego it, but he's owed tens of millions of pounds in deferred wages, and he has to. Of course, he needs that money. This isn't even about playing time anymore. This isn't about football, about being at your dream club. This is about earning the money that you feel that you deserve, and he has every single right to do that. But I don't think Manchester United are in a mess at all. I'd love to know why you think we're in a mess. And is it because you feel like we need all these players for the start of pre-season? Without it, the season's a write-off? Like, how are you? What's your thought process through that? I would really love to know what it is that makes you think that, my friend. Harrison Lang here says, so basically the thing holding up the De Jong deal is that Barca owe him up to £50 million in wages. That's clearly the hold up, not the add-ons, and that's actually not United's fault. 110%. But this isn't new news. The Barca press and the Spanish press have been telling us this for 4 weeks. It's only now being picked up by the BBC, only now being picked up by the British media. They don't read the foreign press, which is crazy. If you want to know what's going on at Barca, you read Spanish press. And they've been talking about this for a long time. I wouldn't be surprised if there was some sort of cutoff point where if by the 1st of August, if a player hasn't left the club or retired or been sold or put in a transfer request, there's probably a point where the money goes default and then they're not allowed it anymore. This happened before with Neymar. If Neymar left Barcelona before a particular date, there was like a 15-20 million pound bonus owed to him and his team that they would forego and forfeit. That's all that's going on here. I think most football fans know this. I think most football fans are aware of it, but it doesn't make good banter to do. You know, the same Barca press is telling us that Erik ten Hag and De Jong speak every day. Why, if you ain't thinking of coming? I said it this morning. What are they doing? They're talking about Stranger Things. They're talking about the new season of The Boys. You know, what are they debating the inner goings out of the trans debate in sport? What is it? What are they speaking about every day? Come on now. Use our brains. Use our brains here. It's as simple as that. Let's have a little look here. If Raphinha wants to come to Chelsea, he will come. If he doesn't, we can find a better player like Sterling. Well, Sterling is going to happen. Sterling is going to be a Chelsea player. There is almost zero chance that does not happen as a deal. It really, almost zero chance. Are Arsenal more attractive than United at the moment? That's a very good question. I would say, generally speaking, no. I don't think Arsenal are more attractive than Manchester United right now, but it depends on the player and the position that you're offering to them. You know, you look at Lisandro Martinez. Does he prefer Manchester United to Arsenal? Probably. But Youri Tielemans prefers Arsenal to Manchester United. You know, preference, position, the manager, all these things are going to play a big part in that. Eltel, do you think there will ever be a boy born who can swim faster than a shark? There could be. I'm a big fan of The Office as well. So top man for that comment. Thank you very much indeed. Footballing wise, Arsenal are active, and whereas United are in a 3. I don't know what you mean by that, my guy. I don't actually know. what that means. Barca owe Messi 100 million, PK 80 million in deferred wages. Barca are in a real mess. Of course they are. And this will all come to a head at some point. And the point is this. If Man United truly believe by the end of all this, they're going to get De Jong, with or without pre-season, it's the right thing to do. It's absolutely right thing to do. United fans just need to be patient. Man United fans just need to be, I think we just need to be a little bit more secure in ourselves here and stop panicking and worrying and projecting and just let things develop. Very complex deal for multiple reasons. Most of it isn't to do with Man United. It's between a dispute between two parties. It's as simple as I remember working for a company and we made some sales and we drew some bonuses, but I got offered a new job. But if I left the organization before receiving that bonus, I foregoed it. And it was a fairly significant bonus. So I had to delay my start date at the new company because I wanted my bonus. It's the same difference. And it happens in the normal working world. Of course, it happens in football. So, yeah, I wouldn't be too worried. Terry, do you think United, Arsenal will finish above Tottenham? Right now, I don't know. I'd have to see a ball be kicked. You've got to remember, Antonio Conte is a proven world-class manager in league football at the elite level. Ten Hag isn't proven yet at the elite level. He hasn't managed in Spain. He hasn't managed in Italy. He hasn't managed in the Premier League. Arteta isn't on Conte's level either. The managers will play a key part in this. They will play a massive, massive part in this. But that is a great question. Terry being extremely kind to Arsenal. Man United are better, richer, with a better manager and in the same competition as Arsenal. If United want a player as their first choice, they'll get him. Look, I think they will in certain occasions. I think it depends on who the player is and but you're all right on that. If we want a player to be our main centre-back and Arsenal want him to be the main centre-back, I would fancy us 8 times out of 10. That's true. But I'm being fair here because you've got the Youri Tielemans situation. I don't think we could take Youri Tielemans away. I don't. I think he wants Arsenal. Can we take Lisandro Martinez? Absolutely. I think that's the two things are true. I do. A lot of people want to talk about this Chelsea bid for Nunes. We will go into that. We are covering Antony on the show. We're going to open up the lines very soon for you. We are going to give 20 memberships out today, but we need to hit 1,250 likes. Currently on just under 500. Facebook on 800. We'll gift out those memberships as soon as we hit 1,250 likes. You can hit that all right now very, very quickly. Also, scan the QR code on the screen. Make sure you're protecting your data when surfing online with a fantastic VPN provider here in private internet access, and you get 3 months free courtesy of the Terrace. But let's take a look at this situation with Nunes. We kind of spoke about this a little bit earlier. The news this morning was that Chelsea will present a proposal for the 23-year-old midfielder in the next few hours, 45 million plus 5. The offer should convince both the player and the club. That was according to reports that came out this morning. Now, there have been some counterclaims, and none of the British press have gone with this. They've kind of put it down to being just a mere rumour. There's nothing much in it right now. The club is still focused on Ake and Raheem Sterling. So it's been very much played down by the British media. But as I've already alluded to, Nunes to Liverpool got played down when it first came out. Raphinha leaving, I want to say Porto, was played down when it first happened. Of course, remember the first few reports that came out from, I think it was Record in Portugal, about Fabio Vieira's Arsenal. There was Arsenal, oh, was it real, was it real, was it real? And nobody took it seriously until one of the quote-unquote tier ones quoted one of these Portuguese journalists. So at the moment, in Britain, it is seen as just a mere rumour. But does that mean it will change? It could. Does it mean that there is some substance? Does it mean there is no substance to it just because a tier one in England hasn't reported on it yet? Absolutely not. We have seen the foreign press especially be ahead of the curve on so many of these deals this year, reporting on stories 3, 4, 5 weeks before the British press really delve into the crux of it. We've already just mentioned with Frankie de Jong. The Barca press were telling us 4 weeks ago this was more of a delay due to his unowed money and deferred money. I did streams on it. And now suddenly the BBC report on it and it's trending news. I think to myself, sometimes I think I'm living in the twilight zone. I swear I spoke about this 4 weeks ago. And it isn't my news. I'm not in the know on this. I just read the news at the time and it told me all of this. So I think there's a real chance here that this is the type of player that Chelsea could go for. I said this morning, funnily enough, there will be a surprise transfer or two in this window that nobody is expecting. There'll be a surprise transfer or two that people aren't expecting to go through, to see happen, and it will. That's just the nature of the transfer window. Now, any questions you've got, feel free to send them in. I want to hear from you on the show. We're going to get the link out for you to phone in very, very soon as well. Terry, I'm very confused on this Raphinha situation. What's going on? Well, the Raphinha situation is interesting. It's very clear what's going on as far as I'm concerned. The player prefers Barca as his number one choice. I think nothing's changed in that regard. Have you noticed how his thoughts on Chelsea have softened in the media in the last few days? From no personal terms agreed to he's open to Chelsea. He isn't open to Chelsea. He's happy with the terms that Chelsea have offered. He's happy with the money, squad status, squad number, the manager. He just prefers Barca. However, a week on from all the hullabaloo surrounding this deal, and Barcelona have not yet made a satisfactory bid into Leeds United. Now, the Barca press have said it's very close. They've said that it's all but done. 98% is what Gerard Romero said. But the British press is saying absolutely not. Now, of course, like I've just said, we have to listen to the foreign press. I'm taking that seriously. But no official bid has even been made yet. Not one. And Leeds United have been very, very direct, very, very open and very, very honest about this. They are absolutely going to honour the accepted bid of Chelsea's around 60 million. Chelsea Football Club are pushing for this to get over the line. They are talking to Raphinha and his camp on a regular basis. They want to get this deal closed off. They still want the player. They haven't walked away. Equally, nor have Arsenal. They haven't walked away from this deal either. So I think that the fans have to be mindful of that, and they have to look at this for what it is. This is a deal that could still happen for Chelsea. Barca are the clear favourites, but look at their situation. 100 million to Messi, 180 million to Gerard Piqué, 35 million to De Jong. They haven't officially registered Kesse and Eriksen yet, even Christiansen, and have done formal announcements. They want to sign Lewandowski, and Bayern are saying no installments, cash up front. They want to sign Bernardo Silva, but they can't even put a bid forward for that yet. They want to get Jules Koundé done. They don't have the money ready for that. So I think Chelsea fans, again, it's about staying patient. The club not panicking and going, right, we're running away. Put a bit of pressure on the player, but stay there, because Barca might get to a point where they go, we just can't afford you. And if Dembele stays, I know they're saying that they might keep both. And I'm not even sure that's been confirmed yet. If Dembele stays and have got to give up on a target or two, Raphinha could be that guy. Now, how mad would Chelsea be if they walked away now, Barca walk away in a week, and then Arsenal get him because everyone else has walked away? You can't do it. You need to keep your foot in the door. There's still 6-7 weeks left of the market. It would be ridiculous to panic now and to run away. You know, I know everybody's got this notion. This is the theme this summer is we need the player in before pre-season. We need the player in before pre-season. So what I'm hearing from every fan base, it's never really been that case. So many big deals, but true to this point. It's easy when it's Werner, when there's a buyout clause. It's easy when it's Haaland, when there's a buyout clause. It's easy when you sign certain players in the February, March months, and they start the season with you. Not all deals are quick and easy, especially when you change regime, change targets, and you're going in a different direction. So I do think, you know, they might be setting a deadline, Chelsea, and maybe they will. Maybe they will set a deadline. Maybe they will walk away. And maybe that's because their secondary target is also being looked at by another club. They were looking at Antony. Maybe now they're going to think, Man United might get Antony. We better, you know, what do? Do we get Antony and guarantee it, or do we wait for Raphinha? Chelsea have got to make that decision. But Barca haven't had a bid accepted yet. And if they don't get a bid accepted, Raphinha is already, this is what has been said. Raphinha would prefer to go to Chelsea than stay at Leeds. So if Barca don't get a bid accepted, he can go to Chelsea. It's just a game. It's a game. And I know that fans don't want to feel like second best. And Chelsea fans, if you sign Raphinha, you'll be tired. I didn't really want to come to you. What does that matter when he's tearing down your right wing? When he's twining man up? When he's putting balls in the back of the net? Are you going to care that he wasn't first choice? No. Do you know what I mean? Does my second wife care that she weren't the first one I married? Absolutely not. She's got me. Do you know what I mean? So it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. It is what it is. It is what it is. That's the way it goes. That's the way it goes down. Leeds have set a deadline for this week. Okay, well, I didn't know that Leeds have set the deadline. Well, if Leeds have set a deadline and they said to Barca, after Thursday, no matter what you bid, we're going to reject it. Unless Barca have got the money, he's going Chelsea. And that's one thing Ben Jacobs said all along. All along. Go back and look at his words. I just don't think Barca have the money for this. Barcelona fans have tried to push this whole notion of we're getting money, we're going to have money, we're rich. Right now, I ain't seeing it. Right now, I'm seeing man's running up big debts on credit cards and Littlewood's catalogs. Do you know what I mean? Paying 25p a week or whatever for a new pair of trainers. That's what we used to have to do back in the day when we lived on housing estates and were broke. Any updates on the ligt to Chelsea? We went through that deal this morning, my friends. So go check out this morning's stream where we spoke all about that. Ladies and gentlemen, we're about halfway to our target on this stream. We're about halfway to the target on this stream now. 1,250 likes, and we'll gift you 20 free squad level memberships on the Football Terrace. Keep hitting that like and that share button. Yeah, I used to have Littlewood's catalogue. There ain't wrong with it. Nothing wrong with it. But if you're balling and you've got money, you don't order from a catalogue. You don't order at the inflated prices and then spread the cost with like 29.9% APR. Wealthy people don't do that. It's silly. That's what I'm saying. Do you know what I mean? That's where we're at with this one. That's where we are with this thing. It's as simple as that. It's as simple as that. I want to take your calls, though, people. We're going to open up the lines for you to phone in and have your say this afternoon. Make sure those like buttons are being smashed for us, people. Make sure you're subscribing to the Football Terrace. I want to hear from you. Big breaking news. Antony bid in. We know it now. That's done. That's an official bid that has been made. Youri Tielemans bid expected or has been made. And Chelsea looking at Nunes of Sporting Lisbon. I want to hear from you, people. The link's now in the live comment section. Give us a buzz now or call in via StreamYard. It isn't really phoning in, but you know the drill by now. Fabrizio has tweeted about R9. Oh, is that about Bayern Munich saying they're not in for him? I would imagine. As much as I appreciate Cristiano Ronaldo as one of the greatest players ever, a move would not fit our philosophy. But most people know this, don't they? Like, it just is what it is. I really wouldn't worry too much about it at all. It just is what it is. Do you know what I mean? It's a little bit like it's a little bit like people still saying, "Oh, Laporta has today said again, De Jong's not for sale." Why has he been negotiating with Man United for 5 weeks then? Honestly, it makes me laugh that people buy into that stuff so easily. Oh my God, I'm going to panic. Oh my God, what's going on? It's a mad one to me. It's an absolute mad one to me, but there we go. There we go. There we go. Antony, £51 million bid. Hang on 1 second, people. I just want to take a quick look at something here. Anyways. Any news on Spence to Spurs? We were going to be covering that today, but then these other stories kind of broke that just people were asking for more. So the word is on Spence is that he's going to, the deal is very, very close to being announced at this moment in time. That'll be a very good deal for Spurs, I think, and it also kind of dispels the myth a little bit. Like some of the ages of the players that Antonio Conte has gone for, they're not these like 50-year-old, they're not 50-year-old men that are nearly at retirement. He's not trying to sign Ronaldo and Perisic and try and bring Claude Makelele out of retirement. Do you know what I mean? This time Diego Costa, it worked for me before. Like he's looking at some really good emerging talents and players in that good, like low to mid 20 range in terms of age. So I think he's doing some really good business in that regard. I've seen a lot of outrage over about the so-called leader and Mr. Standards still will not be training. Hilarious fan base. Listen, I'm going to address the Maguire situation a little bit later on today. Don't you worry about that. I've got a lot to say about it and the weirdness I'm seeing from Manchester United fans. And it is what I said. It's weirdness. There is a weirdness from Manchester United fans. Naheem here says that 51 million is a fair price for Antony, in my opinion. Yeah, listen, I think it is a fair price. I think Man United might end up paying a bit more. I think they've offered 60 million euros plus 5, so about 55 million pounds. That's what's been offered. I think about 60 million pounds will probably get that job done. The fact the player is pushing for the move will massively help Manchester United. It will be a real benefit to Manchester United to be pushing for that move and kind of motoring forward in that way. But look, Antony is a player that the manager wants. If you watch compilations, if you watch game footage back, very technically gifted football player. He, for me, looks like a Man United player of old. He is the kind of winger that Sir Alex Ferguson would have been looking at in our pomp, in our heyday. Someone that can drive at fullbacks, beat a man. And it is something that we lack. Sancho's okay at it. Rashford used to be. Martial was brilliant. We don't really have wingers and wide men that go at those fullbacks, try and put them on their backside, get to that byline and cut the ball back. It's a type of goal that Manchester United have struggled with for a very long time. We have stopped scoring. I don't know what you call them, but essentially we've stopped getting the ball to the byline, simple crossfield pass, and then someone tapping it in. I sort of look at City and look at Liverpool. They seem to score almost a goal like that in every single game they play. That's probably a little bit of an exaggeration, but you get my point. Man United need more of that. And although Sancho was meant to be that guy, we still didn't find balance. He was better on the left. Rashford generally better on the left. Martial's coming back. That's where he is better. We need to start balancing out and making that right-hand side more dangerous. That balance it would give the team helps so much. So listen, I think Antony is a very important signing for the club. Of course, it wouldn't have been a priority if our squad was still intact from last year. It's particular players that have been kicked out of the football club, and rightfully so. With Ronaldo looking to leave, it may be even more important to be able to bring a player like him in. It really, really could be. So it's going to be an intriguing time to see sort of what happens and sort of direction of things moving forward. Question, what's more likely, Antony or Dybala? In my opinion, I think Antony is far more likely a signing for Manchester United. I think that you've got to remember, United, and I think the MEN today have reported that, let me just get this fact. I was reading this earlier. I want to make sure I get this right. Bear with me. I want to make sure I get the journalist's name correct. It wasn't Simon Stone. It was somebody else. Somebody else put it out today that there's been no talks with Manchester United. I think it was, I don't know who the guy's name was now. I can't find him. Anyway, I can't find the journalist's name, so it's not too much of a problem. I'll find it later. But there was a fairly prominent journalist that said, it may have been somebody from the Manchester Evening News, who stated that there's been no talks between Dybala's camp and Manchester United. And I'm not surprised to read that. Equally, the Italian press that reported on this news, they're not BSers, they're not liars, they're not sensationalists, especially not Damasio. So I wouldn't be surprised, but it is very much the agent coming to us and not the other way around. So they would really have to sell him. They would really have to make sure that he fits what the manager wants. I think it's far more likely that we go for a player the manager knows, a player that wants to be at Man United. He isn't demanding a move from Ajax because he wants to be paid loads more money. He wants to come and be part of what he believes. You've got to remember about this as well. These players know how good Erik ten Hag is. They also know how big and famous Manchester United are. And if Ten Hag can get things to work at United, and they can get this team over the next 2 to 3 years playing brilliant football, improving the squad quality each summer, and getting back to the peak of its powers, why wouldn't you want to be part of that? Now, as a lot of journalists have said, Man United have lost a lot of their pull based on the fact they don't qualify for Champions Leagues at times. We haven't been in a league title race for a long time. So Manchester United, of course, lack a little bit of potency as a club, but Erik ten Hag doesn't. And with players that know him, players that trust him, there is an element of belief to say, well, I know what he can do. I've seen what he turned around at Ajax. I believe he can do that at Manchester United. So that's the drive for me. I'd prefer a player like Antony over Dybala. Now, I know a lot of people want the club to make sure that we've got a cast iron replacement ready for Ronaldo if he leaves. We all know my thoughts on this. I saw someone message it earlier. They said, today, if we don't sign central replacement for Ronaldo, we're screwed. I'm like, screwed in what way? What are you expecting us to do this year? Win the league? Win the Champions League? No. We can make the top four with or without a replacement for Ronaldo, in my opinion. There's good enough quality in the squad. We may miss out on it even with Ronaldo or even with a replacement because of the quality of everybody else. Is it ideal? No. Is it panic stations? Is it time to rant? Is it time to go mental? Absolutely not. The only time I'll be frustrated is if the manager's told, no, he can't make any replacement. We can't sign Antony. We can't sign Dybala. We can't sign anybody. If Ronaldo goes, that's it. No more money. That's frustrating. But if Ten Hag and the club say, we're not going to panic, we're going to wait for our proper targets, I'm fully behind it. I'm fully behind it in the short term. Just see what happens with it. I always do that with managers. It's my process. Okay, I'm going to trust you, and let's kind of see what happens from that point there. But very good question. I really do appreciate that, my friend. Thank you very much indeed. Just heard this news, and I'm low-key gassed. And listen, for anyone that's new tuning in, these are the headlines this afternoon that Man United have made a £51 million bid for Antony, but that is still nearly 20 million short of Ajax's valuation. We know that it's short. Man United are going to try and negotiate this price down. The player is demanding that negotiations take place. So this is a player really trying to force a move to Manchester United without disrespecting his current employees. On top of that, this afternoon, it's been reported that Arsenal are ready to launch a £50 million bid for the brilliant Youri Tielemans to become another star-studded signing for Arsenal Football Club. They called their interest a few weeks ago. They focused on Raphinha. They focused on Lisandro Martinez. Both of those deals right now look slightly out of reach for Arsenal. But Youri Tielemans certainly does not. And could Chelsea be about to make another breakthrough in the market with Nunes from Sporting Lisbon? It's been played down a little bit by the British media, but the foreign press truly believe that this could be a deal that Chelsea progress with, that this could be a deal that Chelsea move forward with. We'll see how that transpires in the coming days across socials. We really, really will. Anyone new that's tuning in, 1,250 likes, and we're going to give 23 memberships out to you. We're going to gift them out. So make sure you're smashing it. We're only 450 likes away, my people. That's very easy for you all to do right now. Man United didn't win a game last season without Ronaldo. You definitely need a replacement. Yeah, but we won games without him the season before, didn't we? Like, these players are capable. They are capable. And United are not going to... But United fans have had this notion for a long time that if we lose one particular player, the whole world's going to fall apart. It isn't. It'll be okay. I'm pretty sure of it. We're at the beginning of a rebuild. No pressure on this team. Pressure on the Glazers to give the money, but we have to sign the right player. That's all I'm stating. The panic from fans, if the club panic like that, we end up buying the wrong people again. And that's something the club can't afford to do to Erik ten Hag. We also won games at the beginning of last season. If you remember the game against Leeds as an example. So United certainly won games without Cristiano Ronaldo last year, and they can do again. Because by that same logic, Ronaldo leaves, that's it. United might as well pack up, close the club down. Never going to win another game again. They'll get there. I want a replacement this summer, but we do not need to panic buy. That needs to be the message from fans to the football club. I think that message from the fans to the football club is the most important one. We do not need to panic. Please buy the right players at the right price. Let's stop hemorrhaging money. Let's act professionally. Let's get people on side with us. That's what we need to go out there and do, in my humble opinion. That's what we need to do. We're going to start taking some calls. Paul's backstage. Young Tommy's backstage as well. Lawrence here says, if Arsenal get Tielemans over the line as well as Martinez or Grimaldo, that would be good business. Heard Arsenal fans made a €40 million bid for Asensio as well. They're obviously after another kind of attacker. That would make sense. Asensio is one of those weird players that everybody thought he was going to be something very, very special. And he's had a good career. There's no doubt about that. But it's going to be intriguing to see what kind of direction that his career kind of goes in from this point. But listen, if Arsenal end up with either of those two players, and Youri, and Jesus, and Fabio Vieira, and maybe an Asensio or another good attacking wide player, it's a very good summer. And then Arsenal fans should go into the new season and be like, listen, we now need to be ready to challenge. Top four should be that's where we need to be. Challenge in the domestic trophies. Consider themselves one of the favourites for the Europa League and demand their club wins it. This is a big football club with a high level of expectation, or should have a high level of expectation, in my opinion. First on the show, talking with us today is going to be young Tommy. He's an Arsenal fan. What's on your mind, mate? You there, mate? Young Tommy's not ready, so instead I'm going to speak to Samuel. Samuel's an Arsenal fan. What are you saying, Samuel?
How's it going, Terry? Listen, the window, I mean, it's kind of died down this week. Last week, Arsenal fans were on a high with Raphinha and Martinez, but that's fallen apart. I came on here last week saying, it was a disgrace, it was an embarrassment, but I think I wasn't acting rationally then. I think the club does have a plan B, and like Fabrizio Romano mentioned earlier, the club is operating in the dark. I mean, no one's really aware of what we're doing right now, and I think I prefer this. We're kind of operating in a low profile, but I had a name tag, I think it was Guedes from Valencia. I mean, he's Portuguese. I think he scored 7 goals in La Liga last season. But obviously, the dream signing for me was Gnabry. But obviously, that's not the case. I think he rejected 300 grand a week at Bayern, and I don't think it would take a lot more of wages for him to come down to Arsenal. Obviously, I can't say anything about the current rumors that has been going around in the news recently. Obviously, we have to wait. I can't say anything on that. But I think, Terry, the priority for us right now in the window is midfield. As you saw, I saw your video earlier about, I think a bid had been rejected for Sergej Milinkovic-Savic, and uh, I mean, Terry, I'll be honest with you, I'm not quite keen on the player. I mean, I know for years he's been linked away, but if he's really that good, why has he been at Lazio for so long?
I mean, if you listen to what Fabrizio said, Fabrizio basically said that the reason he stayed is because Lazio have priced him so high. He's almost suffered a little bit with what Harry Kane suffered with. He's talented, but they've asked for too much money. If Declan Rice didn't have a £150 million price tag on his head, he'd have left West Ham 2 years ago. I think he keeps getting priced out. Does that make sense? And I think that's what, Arsenal are trying to work that price down as his contract starts to roll towards an end. But I do believe midfield is an area you need to address. And look, Youri Tielemans, £30 million. Would you just rather see that done now, close off the midfield business that's required at this moment in time this summer, and move on to other targets?
I think, the Tielemans deal is the easiest deal to get done. I think it is a relatively low price for a player that is Premier League proven. £30 million in this current market, in this age of a transfer window for a player like Tielemans, I think is a bargain. I mean, it was a 25. Leicester, like Ben Jacobs came and said, nothing's the issue. He just wants Arsenal, and we've really got no competition because Man United, I think, were interested, but he has his heart set on Arsenal. So I think that should be a relatively easy deal to get done. But I think there will be one more signing near the deadline day because I think there will be some anger from the fans saying we haven't signed enough. So probably Milinkovic-Savic will come near deadline day, possibly to sell more tickets, to sell more shirts. That's what I see happening because the club has always operated this way. Even back in the day under Arsene Wenger, fans will be frustrated and last minute, like the Mesut Ozil signing, I think we signed Welbeck last minute as well, even though he wasn't really. He was a decent player for us, but I think even then, I'm still very, very frustrated on the winger situation because we're playing at least Europa League. But Bukayo Saka, obviously, barring any injuries, on the plane to Qatar this year. So, I mean, we're not going to play him throughout the Europa League. We don't have enough depth. That's what killed us last season, Terry. We don't have enough depth in the defensive front, and we don't have enough depth in the midfield. I mean, everyone on the pitch, there's no depth.
Listen, Sam, I really great points being raised there, my friend. They really, really are. And I think you need that depth. You need to get these signings done. But remember, 6 to 7 weeks still left in this window. No need to panic. Top man. Thank you. And that's a question I want to pose to everybody watching. By the way, about 300 or so likes away now from hitting the free gift, free 20 free memberships we will give out. Now, I want to say this. Why this summer is there this obsession? Every year there seems to be a new obsession. Some years it's about age. Some years it's about everyone's got to have last year it was DM. This year it's we all need our players done before pre-season. If we don't have our players in before pre-season, we're done. We're dusted. We're finished. Remember at Liverpool, they signed Jota and Thiago pretty late into a season. They did all right. Do you know what I mean? Like they went on to win. They went on to have a decent season. Or was it the season before that their signings were late and they won the league? One of them 2 years. They signed some players late and they went on to win things. These things are fairly normal. Yes, City have started off like a bull in a china shop. They have, and they're in a great position. And yes, Spurs have got their players in and through the door early. But it doesn't always work that way. I mean, they're talking 6 or 7 players. So they've still got like 3 or 4 more to go. And, I look at it, I understand why people want them in early, but why the obsession this year with signing players so early? I really want to know what it is that's kind of making people want that. So I'd love an answer to that question, please. And don't deviate from it, especially if you're someone that keeps saying, I keep seeing Arsenal, Chelsea, United fans, we don't get them in before pre-season, it's a disaster. Why this year is there this obsession with it more than any other year? There we go. And breaking news, ladies and gentlemen, breaking news on the Football Terrace. Raheem Sterling, Matt Law has posted this out, has agreed terms with Manchester, with Chelsea Football Club. But I will say, Tier 1, Tapping Terry, told you this a week ago, told you it was going to happen. And yes, there we go. It's over the line. You meant to press that before, KJ. Like, I've already done the breaking news, mate. It's a little bit late. But listen, Raheem Sterling, he will be a Chelsea football player. We knew this already. We knew this was going to happen. We knew this was going to get over the line. We knew this was going to be a done deal a week or so ago now. We knew that was going to happen. So congratulations to Chelsea Football Club for signing one of the best midfield players, best attacking players in the Premier League without a shadow of a doubt. Quality. 1 second here. I just need to update something on my titling. I'm all by myself, so that takes me a while to do it. Canadian Cam's joining me now to have his say. Big Man United fan. What you saying, bro?
What's going on, man? How you doing?
Yeah, I'm good. What's your thoughts on this £51 million bid for Antony? Your sound's gone. You muted yourself.
Yeah, my bad. I think that's probably where we should stop, right? Unless the add-ons we put in there are pretty hard to achieve. And then Ajax is reasonable, being like, yeah, fair. If he achieves those, then that money makes sense. I think it just goes back to the fact that, like, how we're moving in this transfer window is very much for the manager. I think that's kind of, I'm not going to lie, I think we've done that a lot. What's more important is what we do the next year, right? So if we get all these players in for Ten Hag this year, we have to make sure we continue that. I think for some of the managers before, I know for LVG, we definitely did it, but we didn't continue it, and I'm happy we didn't. With Jose, it was a bit of a mixed bag. So it feels like the shift has been, all right, we're just going to go all in on what the manager wants versus what the public's saying. Because you're now seeing takes where people, I know before he came, people were talking about him, he's a saucy player, this or that. I didn't know much about him. I just watched clips. I never really watched the full game other than watching in Champions League. That's when I've seen him play. So I'm not going to pretend I know much about him other than the profile player that he is he's a true winger. And he likes to hug the touch. Like he likes to hug the sideline versus cut in, which we don't have that player. Like, if we be honest, we don't have a single player like that in our squad. Everybody cuts in. All of our wingers, all of our forwards, they cut in, right? Getting that different profile of a player. And it's funny where it's like seeing Ronaldo being like, I want out. It's like that type of player is the type of player that helps Ronaldo, right? Because it keeps that space open. It helps Bruno to run into that space. Donny van de Beek, if he's playing in that role, somebody who can actually cross the ball in from wide versus cluttering up that space. Because that's where we struggle with breaking teams down. When everybody's trying to do the same thing, so easy to defend. So easy to defend, right? So I like that we're going after that profile of a player. Like, I'm not going to pretend that I know so much about him, but the type of player that's going to give us different looks versus the same on same. I thought Sancho was going to be more of that player on the right, but clearly we like him on the left. I don't know, maybe Ten Hag will change that up, but I'm happy where the bid's in, right? So everybody keeps saying, oh, United is sitting on their hands, not spending money. It's like, we are bidding on players. We are, like, the Frankie de Jong thing is clearly that's been the first difference in what we're doing this year. Frankie de Jong was the first initiated contact, right? But from there, we didn't just sit and go, like, look, remember Sancho, we sat and waited, didn't go after anybody. Both years. This year, we're like, we've got all our targets in line. We're going to go after all of our targets. Frankie de Jong, if it comes on the last day of the window, so be it. So be it, based on what we all now know. If people are looking into the actual situation, this isn't a deal that can happen in a month. So I'm happy we're going after different targets. I don't want us to, if we don't get Antony, I think if that's the player we've identified, you don't need to go after. We have enough right wingers we could figure out on our squad. Ahmad, Pellistri, try them out. I don't want us to go overly spend on somebody who Ten Hag doesn't want.
I think that's the important bit here. Like we were saying earlier, I kind of look at this situation from two angles. I'm happy to bid a little bit more for Antony if he's key and integral to what our manager is trying to build and grow and develop. But at the same time, let's be sensible here. This is a player with 2 years remaining on his contract who's still very young. You don't go and spend 75, 80, 90 million pound and overpay, which means you don't get somebody else. This is where I totally get everyone's argument. We need to replace Ronaldo. We need more. And of course we need more, but we could sign 6 players, brilliant players this summer. We still need more to win league titles. Like, we still need to improve on multiple areas, but we're not trying to build a squad in one summer that can win the league. It's an impossibility. So that's where I think fans, and I don't know, I think some people, rivals, are doing it on purpose, and I get it, and I respect the hustle. But Man United fans are pushing that notion that it's a disaster if everybody's not signed by Friday, and if we don't fix every hole and every problem at the club with the transfer, the season's a write-off. It's almost like, well, that level of expectation means you can just moan all year again. Like it's so transparent and see-through. It's unbelievable.
Which it's also crazy because like it's not like this is where it doesn't make sense because everybody's like, we need to get these players in so they know Ten Hag's system and know how to play in the system. Last I checked, Frankie de Jong helped him create a system when he was at Ajax. Last I checked, Antony was a big part of the system. So these players not being in right away, it's okay because they know how they know what the manager expects. Like that's why he's trying to get them in. So they're aware of their manager. They know what they expect. Yes, they have to get used to their teammates and whatnot, but they're not going to play crazy amounts in preseason either way. Antony, I'm pretty sure, is injured at the moment. So it's kind of like, I get wanting to get him Malacia in because you need to put that competition on Shaw. Like I get like if you can get him in because you're not sure about Shaw. Martinez, get him in because you're not sure about the center back pairings. Frankie de Jong's playing day one, no matter what happens. Like he's slotted in. Antony maybe not. But that's okay because we have a lot of cover at that spot. So I think it's become this new world of social media and everybody. I blame the Gen Zers where it's like we finished fifth last year and look at City and Liverpool. They did all their business early and they finished top. It's like, yeah, of course they did because they knew exactly what they had to do. They're the same managers for the last 5 years. Like they're fully aware of their plan. It's of course that happened that way. And the window's open and we're making signings. This is what's killing me. It's like when we don't make signings, people are upset. Now we've made signings. Christian Eriksen, Malacia are through the door. Martinez probably next. That's 3 signings within July. What else do you want? Like that's early in my opinion. 3 signings by July is not bad business. And I'm not a Glazer simp. I don't care. I don't think the Glazers have anything to do with this. I think it's gone down to they've given the power to John Murtaugh. They said, here's the deal. This is how much money you have to spend, and he's working within his bounds, and he's doing the best he can for the manager. So that's why I've been pretty quiet on the whole situation because it's kind of like we hated Ed Woodward and everything that happened in that situation. We now get this new regime in who are football men. Let's be honest. Yes, they may not be the elite that everybody thinks they're elite, but I can't judge on Paul Mitchell versus whatever. Everybody started somewhere. These guys all know football.
But
right?
This is the thing. This is the thing. Last year, this is why it's all nonsense what people talk about. Last year, Man City, who were looked at as brilliantly well run, spent the whole summer chasing Harry Kane, didn't get him, and they announced Jack Grealish on the 5th of August. Man City don't always get their business done in the first 2 or 3 weeks. So Man City are well run. They spent the whole summer chasing a striker that didn't land. And then on the 5th of August, just before the season started, well into preseason, they signed Jack Grealish. Now, some will argue and say, well, that's why Grealish didn't have a great season. I disagree. I think it was adapting to the style and the system. And a lot of City fans actually think he did quite well. But the point is, you don't always land your targets. If we use the logic of, well, let's not bother now because we haven't got them straight away, City shouldn't have bothered signing Jack Grealish last year. If you actually go through and look back, look how late in the window the likes of Jota and Thiago are signed by Liverpool. They should have walked away. They shouldn't have signed them. This is I don't know whether Man United fans are being deliberately angry just for traction, or whether or not they're just thick. And I know that sounds a horrible thing to say, but it's like you can't be that silly. You just can't be that dumb. You can't be that dumb as football fans to think that all the best clubs get their business done in the first 2 weeks of the window. When has this ever been the case? You know, we worked it out last year. The average time that the top clubs signed their, I'll go and find the tweet. I'll find the tweet. It's there somewhere. The average time in the summer from the window opening to the start of the season, how many days the top 6 signed their marquee signing that summer. City and Liverpool were ahead of Man United and Chelsea and Arsenal, but it was by about an average 9 days. It doesn't make sense.
It's formulaic. It's formulaic, dude. Like they figured out, this is why I blame Gen Z. They figured out what they need to do to get traction and likes. That's what it is at the end of the day, because you'll see the same accounts going mad saying like, we haven't signed anybody. Then we do, they're like, all right, now on to the next. And then they shift back to what the new narrative is. It is formulaic, and congrats to these kids who have learned what's going to gain traction and what people are going to like and how they're going to react. It's also our fan base who buys into it. And that's the biggest issue is the fan base buys so much into it that we've now got to this place where, like, it's funny when you made that comment about it, and I didn't even think about it, people saying Jack Grealish didn't bang on because he wasn't bought earlier. No, he didn't, because anybody who watches the Prem knows 90% of City's buys their first year don't actually kick off. They don't. Like, it's like we've seen that. Like Cancelo, people were talking about Cancelo being sold after his first year, being like, he hasn't done anything. Being sold. And I'm sitting there being like, yeah, because Pep system is difficult for a fullback to play in. And then all of a sudden he's one of the best fullbacks in the league the next year, right? I wouldn't be surprised if Jack kicks on next year. I wouldn't be surprised if he doesn't. But at the same time, to say that preseason is the end-all be-all to get somebody ready, that is insane.
I get the notion that it's better to have them
for sure.
But it's as you say, it's that's it. It's a write-off. You do not believe that. You're just saying it. So, but there we go. Listen, Cam, great call, my friend. Thanks for coming on and having your say. I really appreciate it, bro. Thank you very much indeed. Terry, what did Maguire do today? He liked a message that was kind of condemning Cristiano Ronaldo, really. I felt like it was condemning Ronaldo. We're going to talk about that later on tonight on the Terrace. Don't you mind yourselves about that one. But breaking news in the past 15 minutes or so, of course, we brought this news to you just under a week ago. Raheem Sterling to Chelsea, full agreement in place. The Telegraph are still kind of protecting themselves a little bit, and they're saying here that Chelsea now hope to finalise an agreement with Man City over the fee in the next 24 hours. So ironically, it's another deal where the personal terms they're reporting first, but yet strangely, one particular deal this summer, now personal terms are not done first. On all other deals they are. I've told you for a week now, Raheem Sterling will be a Chelsea player. I'm not going to sort of break it down and protect myself like a journalist, some journalists do, because I don't care. I'm not here to try and get credibility. I was told by someone who I know works directly for Chelsea, the deal is done. Details being finalised. It will complete now. City want to sell him. Chelsea are offering the money they want. He has signed, by the way. He says here that Sterling will become the highest paid player at Chelsea. It will be paid over £300,000 a week. He will become the highest paid player at Chelsea Football Club. A huge, huge, huge piece of business for Chelsea. That really, really is. As they go, listen, and it's a fantastic piece of business. He is one of the very best football players in the Premier League, one of the best inside forwards in the world. It is a tremendous, tremendous piece of business. It really, really is. And I want to get your thoughts and I want to get your feelings on that now, my people. Phone in and have your say. Of course, we're still running the little competition. So if we hit 1,200 likes, 1,250 likes, we're about 150 shy. We're going to give 20 memberships out to you live on the air. So I want to hear from you now, my people, on the show. Let's get this popping. Let's get this show popping right now. I'm just sharing the link out again on a couple of different platforms. Bear with me while I do that. So I want to hear from some of you. Let's go to your comments here. 350,000 pound, 300, not 350, 300,000 pound a week for Raheem Sterling. Huge amounts of money, as you can see there. I want to know what you think. I want to know what you're feeling about that deal. Good business, bad business. Personally, I think it is sensational. I think it is sensational for Chelsea. The best attacker they've had at their club since Eden Hazard. And I said it the other day and I stand by it. He won't ever be better than Hazard in Chelsea fans' eyes. Pound for pound, for the amount of games he plays, he'll score and assist more goals. He'll give you more output. He'll give you more productivity. He will deliver. Facts. Super Chat here says, United fans are not happy with Myrtle and Arnold because they're in the board where they are in different positions, still part of the failure of the last 7 years. I understand that notion, but they've been given different roles and different approaches. So let's just see if it works. Let's just see over time. That's all I'm asking for. I'm happy with Sterling. He's one of England's best football players, is what Ray says. And I think Chelsea fans should be happy. There's no reason. When will it be announced? Personally, don't care. Football announcements bore me now. I think it's because I'm 36. I don't need the fanfare. But he's going to be a Chelsea player. Look, in the next couple of days, I think you'll see something formally announced. But by the way, I also think a lot of the news that's coming out about this is just delayed news. I was told that everything was agreed 4, 5, 6 days ago. Like, that's it. Don't worry. Don't panic. It's going to happen. And it looks like that is happening about now, people. So I want to hear from you. I want your thoughts and I want your feelings on it. What a sign-in, Nick says here. First one through the door. Looking forward to seeing Sterling at the bridge. Keep them coming up the Chelsea. And that's how Chelsea fans should feel. Chelsea fans should 110% feel like that right now, because it's a phenomenal piece of business. Without a shadow of a doubt, it's a phenomenal piece of business, and Chelsea fans should be over the moon that they've attracted and brought into their football club one of the very, very best attacking players in European football. They should be over the moon. Absolutely over the moon. Someone here said I missed their super chat. It might have been liked. Sometimes KJ likes them, then I don't see him, and I didn't check the box. Did you see the tweet that Bayern said about Barca? No. I didn't. When you say that, no, I didn't. I don't know what you're talking about. So you have to. Someone needs to send it to me for me to understand what it is you mean. But there we go. I'd love to know. Yeah, send it through to me. Terry, you're not the only Santa at TFT. I don't know what that means. I don't know what that means. Is somebody else giving out somebody else done it? I don't know what that means. Somebody gifted some memberships. Is that what it means? I don't know. I'm so confused. Sometimes you need to be specific. I don't understand everything that gets said to me on here sometimes. Somebody gifted. Sorry, because I can't even see. Someone did. You did. Well done. Thank you. Oral Campbell gifted 10 memberships out. I can only see that by watching the actual live stream. So thank you very much, Oral Campbell, for doing it. I don't know who got them, though. If you're one of the new members, send in your comments now. And we need 100 more likes. And I'm going to gift 20 more memberships out, people. 20 more memberships out live on the air. Someone said here, other channels have started gifting out memberships as well. They might have already been doing it. I don't know. I just started doing it myself. Maybe, I don't know. I don't know what to say to that. I want to try and see if I can go back on the comment section and see who else got them. Because we don't get on StreamYard doesn't notify you of that, but I don't know who else was given them. But there we go. I want to know who got them. Big up. Maybe this man did. There we go. Congratulations on your membership there. Big shout out. There we go. You must have got one as well. He gifted memberships. There we go. Well, I'm going to gift them. We're almost at the 1,250 mark, which will be amazing. Lots of breaking news going on at this moment in time as well in the transfer window today, which makes it a massive, massive day indeed. I'm going to go and speak now to Paul. Paul's backstage. What are you saying, mate? You're on mute.
Hi, Terry. How you doing, man?
I'm very, very well. Who do you support, Paul?
I support Man United.
What's your thoughts? £51 million bid for Antony. Should we stop at that or bid more to get him?
No, I would love for Ajax to take that because that's a lot for an injured player, even though he's really, really good. But that's a lot of money, you know.
He's only got a minor
so
injury.
I'm like, yeah, it's a minor injury. I mean, if they could, okay, let's say they put £10 million down for add-ons, the money that comes from selling Pereira to Fulham, will make it like £61 million, which would be a good deal for them. But I'm guessing they're just trying to play hardline to get more money because they don't want to sell. So that's what we're getting. If they wanted to sell, they would have taken the £51 million right away.
That's true, but they want that. I think they're happy to sell, but for more money. So I think there'll be a bit of negotiations that go on. I don't think it'll be much higher than £51 million to get it over the line. But yeah, listen, really appreciate the opinions there, Paul. Top man for coming on. Thank you, brother. And we'll speak again soon. 8 more likes, people. 8 more likes, and we move. If you're trying to find the link, it's just pinned to the live comment section. You should be able to find it real easy, my people. Okay, Brian said they won't accept installments for Lewandowski to Barca because they don't believe there'll still be a club in 3. Did they really say that? If that, do you know what's funny? Like I can't see Barca going out of business, but say Barca did go out of business. Oh, that'd be so funny. I don't even know why I'm laughing at that, but I would. I'd laugh so much. We've done it, people. We're going to gift out those memberships now. Bang. Here we go. 20 members coming, courtesy of the Football Terrace. Join up now. If you want to become a member from as little as 99p, the link is in the description below. Go and get that done. So 20 have been gifted. I'm going to read them out as they come through. I don't know who it's going to be. So the first one, Arson Analyst Football. You have been given a membership. Jack Rigby. Miko Dillon has been given one as well. I'm trying to scroll slowly because it goes too quickly. Toby has been given one. Who else has been awarded one here? Sam Bees with Sully has been given one. Sean Snow, C. Stanton, Jimbo, Harry. I can't even read all these names. Hasby, Kerry Hall, Sir Sharif, Sam Billard. You've all been given. K-Show has been given one. Sully, as I mentioned, has been given one as well. Eamon Dane has been given one, as you can see. There might be more that I've missed because it comes down too quickly and the box ain't big enough. It's too fast. But there we go. 20 memberships gifted out live on air on the Football Terrace, people. Congratulations if you've got one. Just so we can see who the new members are. This is what we're going to be doing on lots more. This is one of the new perks we're going to make sure comes back. KJ's reminded me to do this more. What we are doing on these streams as we go into the sort of second halves of them is we go members only in the chat to respect the people that are supporting the terrace and keeping it going. We respect all of you for coming along, but you can become one from as little as 99p. Pio here, Pio must have become one as well. He says, appreciate it. Not a problem. More to come. We're going to probably give out about 200 to 300 memberships over the next month as we build up to the start of the new Premier League. We've got lots of new content coming your way. We're launching the club-specific podcasts again. So that Chelsea, that Arsenal, that Man United show will be back. We're also launching the best style watch alongs you've ever seen in your life. All of this stuff is on its way. Members will get exclusive access to all sorts from this. They really, really will. So very, very excited about the future of the Football Terrace. And you will also see the return of Midnight Vibes. Midnight Vibes will be returning. Slight change. It might not be at midnight. It might be a little bit earlier. But the show is returning to the Football Terrace. Lots more to come on that as well as we go to the next level. Hasby here finally got a membership. Congratulations to you, my friend. Make sure you renew it, though, as you won't be one in a month. Do you know what I'm saying? I don't know how long it actually lasts for. I've got no idea. So there we go. It might be a couple of months you get there. So make sure you renew it. Spurs Talks, welcoming everybody to the member chat section. Man Lucky Gal here, of course, one of our mods, says, let's be honest, Terry, Sterling will fly. Oh, shut up, Igal. Call in and say that, Igal. Come on, Igal. Phone in and say it. Come on. We need to. What do you mean he's going to flop? There we go. Naz here with his membership. Congratulations to you, my friend. I don't know what that's for or what that was in relation to, but there we go. I just subscribed. Well done, B, for subscribing to the Football Terrace. Who else lets fans phone in? Who else gives away membership? Who else gives you more content than anybody else? And the variety coming that's mad. And I can't wait to make an announcement soon. We're waiting on confirmation on the star guest, but we have got the launch we're doing for the start of the Premier League. No one is touching the terrace. The panel we've got for you, no one is touching the terrace. So make sure you stay with us. And if you're a member, squad member, first team member, or legend and super fan, you will have first refusal to attend the event. Once we formalize it, you'll get the first opportunity to guarantee your seats there at the event, hosted by yours truly. Got lots of people coming along to that, so keep your eyes open, ladies and gentlemen, for that. We are talking Raheem Sterling. We are talking the Antony bid from Manchester United, amongst other things. Uncle Jester here with his member chat says, Sterling will be introduced in the new kit as it drops tomorrow. Bowley wants to make the most of the signing, he thinks. Listen, I'm not surprised. This deal was done a week ago. We know clubs act like this. We know clubs do these things. So I am not surprised in any way, in any shape, or in any form. Welcome a new member here, Todd Miller, for signing up for your membership. I appreciate that, my guy. Thank you. Miko Dillon here says Sterling won't. Of course, Sterling won't flop. Of course, Sterling won't flop. He's on his way to being a Premier League legend. Like, the guy's won more Premier Leagues than Arsenal. The guy's won more silverware in England, I'm guessing here, than I think any Arsenal player has ever done in the Premier League era. The guy's a Premier League legend. He ain't flopping at Chelsea. Big boy signing. John here says, I want Chelsea to foul, and I don't overly rate Sterling, but he scores plenty and will probably fit their style of play. Yeah, I think he'll do brilliantly. Yeah, let's get this stream past 1,600 likes, people. Let's do that. Do you know what? If we hit 2,000 likes, I'll do another 10 memberships. If we hit 2,000 likes, I'll do another goddamn 10 memberships. 10. I'll give you a 10. Get that done, people. Patrick here, thank you for signing up and becoming an Academy member on the show. Absolute legend. Richard Cox, thank you for becoming a member on the Football Terrace as well. Absolutely impeccable from all of you. Thank you very much indeed. We may get both Martinez and Antony done real quick. I hope so. Martinez, Antony, Ericsson, Malacia, maybe Frankie de Jong, those 5 deals after the worst season in Premier League history. Jeez. You can't mess around with that. You can't mess around with it. It's just great. I don't know what all these sound effects do.
A few moments later.
Oh, that one. I don't know what they all do. That one does nothing. That's nothing. Oh, that's just a beep. That one's blank. We'll do that noise every time a new member signs up now. That's the member noise, I think. There we go. Thank you to Matheus G for signing up as a squad member on the Football Terrace today. Thank you very much indeed. I really appreciate that from all of you. We'll go to some callers. We're going to go to some more callers in a few moments' time. Look at this. Hang on. David Williams here, brand new Football Terrace member, Academy member. Thank you very much for joining the show, my friends. I appreciate it. Yeah, that noise, by the way, is janky, but it's all we've got. And by the way, legends, if you sign up as a legend fan, you get one of the brand new scarves, Football Terrace scarf for you that you get to wear around your neck. First team member or legend and super fan, you get them sent down. Can I get a reaction? Oh, yes, you can. There we go, people. We still need 530 more likes, and I will give away 10 more free memberships. Pedro here says, Sterling is the same price up front as Gabriel Jesus. I'll take that. Of course you got to take it. It's Raheem the Dream Sterling. I don't think Chelsea fans realise how good this deal is. I know he isn't fashionable. I know he might run like a Tyrannosaurus Rex. I know some newspapers have a pop at him, but he's brilliant. He's a superstar. He's a City player, an ex-Liverpool player. I love the geezer. Love the geezer. He's great. Chike here says, Terry, Chelsea can revive Raheem Sterling because, in my opinion, he is not a good footballer. Also, what are your thoughts on Raphael losing at Wimbledon? Is he losing? Oh, I didn't know. I know Kyrgios was winning. I had that on before I went live. Sterling's brilliant, so you're wrong there, my friend. And Raphael, listen, he's won so much already. These things happen. Baby, here we go, babies. Thank you, Kevin, for signing up. Thank you, Trevor, for signing up. And they call me Lukaku, all signing up to their memberships on the terrace. Thank you very, very much indeed. They're there, Trevor. Don't worry. They're there. I was just waiting, finishing my sentence before I got to my wonderful, wonderful people on the Football Terrace this afternoon. How many of you hit the subscribe button, by the way? How many new subscribers? Look at that, 150 new subscribers during this show. Thank you. I appreciate the love right here, right now on the Football Terrace. I really, really do. But there's nearly 3,000 watching. So how are we not on 2,000 likes? Those gifts got to come out. Yeah, I do think Chike is being salty. I agree with you there. Chike definitely being salty. Hi, Terry. Out of the UK, get a scarf. Yeah, as long as you've got an address, which I'm sure you've got, we will post it to you. We'll send it out. It'll go on an aeroplane, a boat, a van. It might take a bit longer. But we'll get your scarves out there. No worry, my friend. We'll get your scarves out there. It's part of your membership package. That's it. Raheem Sterling, officially the best forward for us in a while. Jack, you're right. And to calm down a little bit, 110%. The very best attacker that Chelsea have bought in a long time. Best attacker since Eden Hazard. And if you think about the last 20 years, Drogba, Costa, Hazard, only one's above him. Robben. But in the Premier League, no. In the Premier League, Raheem Sterling has been superior to Ian Robben. Not on ability, not on dribbling, but overall performance, availability, trophies won, impacting games. Raheem Sterling is clear. These be facts. Patrick, no, you're the legend, my friend. You're the legend. But thank you very much for tuning in. I really do appreciate it. Make sure, by the way, everyone who's using the internet, you scan the QR code on the screen before you leave or after the stream and check out the exclusive offer, 3 months free for your own private VPN to protect your data when being online. I know quite a lot of you have signed up today, which is a big congratulations to all of you that have done that. Trust me, the peace of mind you get from protecting your data is absolutely imperative. Why are you lying to those Chelsea fans, Terry? Raheem is not that good. He's bang average. Igal, you haven't got the bottle to come on here and say it on camera, have you? You don't want to be clipped up. You don't have the bottle, Igal, to come on the air and say it out loud. You have no bottle. Zero bottle. And if you can come on here and shut me down and change my mind that Raheem Sterling's bad, I'll give out 50 free memberships. 50. Let's see if Igal's got any chest, or is he going to be two backer 2.0, no back? Let's see. Terry, did you hear Ragnick wanted to sell Ronaldo in January, but he ended up saving his job? Yeah, I heard that. Look, I'm not really too worried anymore what Ralph did or didn't want, because he's gone now. It's about what the new regime are after. And again, did he want to sell him in the January window? I don't know. I didn't read the clarity on that. I think he wanted him sold in the summer, but we will see. We will see what's being said there. Sterling is better than Gabriel Jesus, but I do think Gabriel Jesus is also a very good player. There's no doubt about that. So, yeah, I'm not going to I'm not going to change my mind on Gabriel Jesus and start putting him down and saying he's not good. He is. He's a phenomenal football player without a shadow of a doubt. He really, really is. So I think, the fans of Chelsea should be very happy, and so should Arsenal fans as well. Claudio, not a problem for your membership gift. An absolute pleasure to have so many members here in the comment section. It's really, really great to see. Jack Rigby, no, thank you very much for watching. I think the algorithmically it picks people that watch a lot of the shows. Not always people that comment a lot, though. Just people that watch a lot of the shows or always hitting like buttons and really interacted with the Football Terrace. So a big thank you to you for doing that. I really do appreciate it, my friend. Sterling is a GOAT. There we go. Name me a better one. Be honest, I'm not even being a wind-up. A better one than what? Sterling? I need to know what you mean, John. Maybe you're talking to each other. Oh, no, you're talking to each other, I think, in the comment sections. Still haven't seen a gal come backstage yet. I don't think he wants it. Do you want Sam? He wants none of it. He wants none of it. He's absolutely eyed him. What a coward. Igal the coward. The silly sausage. The silly sausage Igal. Oh, well. Oh, well, it is what it is. I'm only winding him up. Of course he's running scared. He can't debate me. Igal could never beat me in a debate. He tries to. He tried really hard, but he couldn't beat me. If I had one eye shut, was half asleep, and had done a bottle of vodka, I'd still beat him in a football debate. I'd shut my channel down if he ever beat me. Terry, do you highlight comments on Twitch? We're going to get better at doing that. That's another little thing in the process when it comes to the development of the terrace. We'll try, my friend. Come outside, Igal. Where are you? I ain't see that was one of my favorite videos in the whole world. I don't think I've got it anymore. I've got this one though. I don't know if you guys have seen this.
Never break, always fight, never quit, do it right, play the game, win it life, have no shame, there's no time, feel the pain, live the grind, I could change, in my mind, pick a lane, commit and climb, the only way to win it life, I never miss that stack, taking big swings, bitch, hand.
Sorry about that. Igal, you're clueless about football. London is blue. Terry, given Malacia's attributes, can he be utilized as a defending midfielder? Listen, none of that. None of that. He is a right back. He'll be played as a left back. Sorry, he'll be played as a left back. Can he cover in positions and can he move centrally at times? A lot of fullbacks do that now in the modern day. I wouldn't be surprised to see with Ten Hag's system an element of our fullbacks coming into those midfield areas at times, as we see Pep Guardiola's do. It wouldn't surprise me, but he is still a left back, and that's the position that he'll play. I've loved the salt around him as well. It's been funny the way people have kind of put him down recently, and 30 million, he can't be that good. I think he's going to be brilliant. But there we go. Now, viewers, listen, the breaking news on the show while we were live, of course. Oral Campbell here gifting out another 10 memberships live on the Football Terrace Build. 10 more of you are getting your memberships through right now, people. We're going to see who that's from. 10 more. Look at that. That's 50. That's 49. That's 30, 54 new members in one show. Absolute scenes. The scenes. Who's been given them? Right, let's go through them here. So, Pavad has been gifted 1. Ryan, Kenny Official, Tris has been given an official one here. Kay, Edwin, Emmanuel, a name I can't pronounce. It's very long and difficult for me. Who else got one here? Jimbo, I've already said Jimbo. Michael Cole, well done. Congratulations. Welcome. Absolutely welcome to the Football Terrace. We appreciate it massively. Igal saying Sterling is bad when he has almost the same amount of goals as Ryan Giggs. Make it make sense. Yeah, but see, Gal, it doesn't make much sense, does it? It's not Igal's way. If Igal made sense, I think the world would come to an end. You know, like in the final scene of, in the final episode of Stranger Things, when the ground rips up and it all opens up and hell on earth starts. Shit, that's a spoiler alert, isn't it? And 11 dies. You seen that bit? That's so sad when she goes. Like I don't know how they're going to defeat the God thing now with her gone, but there we go. No, it's not. That didn't happen. That didn't happen. That didn't happen. But yeah, if a gal made sense, then I think that would the world would end. But there we go. Kenny, welcome to the terrace, mate. Really appreciate it, my friend. Congrats to everybody that's picked one up. But listen, people, I really appreciate all the support on the terrace. I really, really do. All of the new members, thank you very, very much indeed. I know there's loads of you waiting backstage. I can't take any more calls today. I'm very sorry. We will do more of these throughout the course of the week, so keep your eyes out for more streams. Make sure you subscribe. Harry Maguire video coming later on tonight. Tomorrow's Thursday, so top 6 show back tomorrow. Ben Jacobs in the morning as well. So you've got Ben Jacobs at 11 a.m. and then you've got top 6 at 6 p.m. What a day you're going to have tomorrow. It's going to be amazing. Until next time, take care. Goodbye. God bless.